Good evening and welcome, fans, to another El Segundo TV sports presentation. I'm Diego Sanchez alongside Egidio De Liu, and tonight the Eagles get set to host the Mira Costa Mustangs in this varsity football game, in a game that really brings out this rivalry between these two neighboring towns. So far, the programs seem headed in opposite directions early this season, Egidio, as the Eagles are 2-0. The Mustangs 0-2, but the Mustangs have played a tough schedule, and both teams are really going to be way up for this game. I visited the Mira Costa program on Monday, and they seem a little down on themselves right now. They're not as big physically as they have been historically. Their coaches were kind of joking around that they had missed their growth spurt, they said. So we'll just have to see whether El Segundo's line can take advantage of that weaker Mira Costa line and win the battle up front, and thus run the ball. We'll have to see. If they can run the ball, they're going to click on all cylinders like they have been.
Well, yeah, El Segundo's 2-0. A big reason is because those big guys up front, the great offensive line play by the El Segundo Eagles this year so far. They've opened up big holes for running backs Kyle Freeman and Danny McEntee. And Danny McEntee has been a star player in offense, defense, and special teams. Also, he just turned 17 yesterday, so you know he's going to have a special chip on his shoulder to have a great game here tonight. Should be a great matchup, Diego.
Well, you're right. McEntee has absolutely been all-world so far. He's been doing it on offense, on defense, and on special teams. He's got almost 350 yards of total offense. He's been a special player thus far. Now, for more on tonight's game, let's go to our sideline reporter, Brittany Rodriguez.
Thanks, guys. I talked to Coach Shevlin earlier, and I asked him if he was at all at ease with the Mustangs coming into this game 0-2. And with a big smile, he said absolutely not. They played two very tough programs, La Serna and St. Francis, and they are coming out to seek revenge after the last time that these two teams met. I also talked to Coach about setting the tone for this game, and he said he really wanted his guys to know that there's going to be 5 penalties. Just expect it off the top so that they don't get too emotional. They need to keep their emotions in check. Egidio, Diego, back to you.
Thanks, Brittany. Now stay tuned for tonight's kickoff coming right up. So here we are, ready for the coin toss to take place at midfield. Diego Sanchez alongside Egidio De Liu. Referee Ken Smotris has said whoever won declined. Did El Segundo win again and decline? Yes, El Segundo. Well, no.
El Segundo will receive.
So maybe Mira Costa won and declined. So maybe all the teams are sort of doing this, that they want the ball to start the second half in case they're behind. I don't know what the thinking is. There's obviously some sort of philosophy behind it, but El Segundo will get the ball first in any case in tonight's game. And it's an interesting game. Last year, I believe that El Segundo won by, it was either 4 points or 3 points at Mira Costa. It was a close game. 4 points, 18-14.
18-14, correct.
Yeah, and it used to be that these teams, I believe, well, I'm not sure if they were in the same league. Maybe years and years ago they probably were. The leagues have gotten reshuffled recently, and now I think Mira Costa is, I want to say, Bay League, El Segundo Pioneer League, so they won't meet in league play. But because the towns, Manhattan Beach and El Segundo, are adjacent to one another, it's kind of a bragging rights type of a game, Egidio, and spirits are high for this one. Both teams obviously want to win. Here come the Eagles storming the field.
And right adjacent to him on the left side, the Mira Costa Mustangs as well. Both teams coming out at the same time. Interesting, and perhaps a little bit of a psychological advantage there. We'll see who it benefits. And a packed house here on the El Segundo side as well as the Mira Costa side.
That's Jorge Montani with the flag for El Segundo.
He's waving it proud, and they should be 2-0 to start the season and beat some good teams Mira Costa, though, although they are 0-2, the Mustangs should not be taken lightly here tonight. They will come to play and get back that loss that happened last year.
Well, they faced St. Francis, a parochial school up in La Cañada area that's supposed to be pretty darn good. And they weren't all that competitive against them. But that's a tough program, according to Coach Steve Shevlin, and also their coaching staff said that it's a tough program. And then they played Lucerna, another pretty good program from the Whittier area. And so they faced some tough teams. And Coach Shevlin said to me before the game, he said, hey, look, if we had played both of those programs, we might be 0-2 as well. So I'm not taking, there's Coach Shevlin, I'm not taking this lightly at all. And we're just about set to go here as James Freilich and Danny McAtee go back deep to receive this kick off the foot of Jack Austin, number 7 from Mira Costa. And we're underway. They kicked it to McAtee. That's the first mistake. He's up to the 10, 15, 20. But they corral him well at the 25-yard line, and that's where El Segundo will take over.
And what a game that was last year, Diego. It was Jake Palmer's heroics towards the end with less than a minute to go. A rushing touchdown by Jake Palmer that gave El Segundo the lead and the win in that game against Mira Costa at Mira Costa last season.
That was Brandon Kelly on the tackle for Mira Costa on the kickoff. And out of the shotgun is Romero, the El Segundo quarterback. He gives it to Freeman, and not much there, maybe a yard. That's about it. Trejo, I think, was one of the tacklers. Cole Trejo, a 5'9", 160-pound junior. Not big, but there's the crowd all amped up for tonight's game.
Oh, yeah.
So 2nd and 9 after that short gain. Now working under center is Romero. He's rolling out. There's that little play that they run quite often, and it's complete. And
Josh Joe there with the tackle.
yeah, Mike Gonzalez on the catch, but he got pasted as soon as he caught it. A gain of about 4. Maybe it'll bring up, maybe 5. So bring up a 3rd and 4, let's call it. Maybe a long 3.
Josh
ball,
Joe.
Ball up to the 33.
Josh Joe, Diego, only 5'5" he's listed as, but he came in, spear tackled Gonzalez.
Now back out of the shotgun, Romero looking downfield. He's got a man, and he's got a completion to number 11, Devin Bonney, and that's a first down for El Segundo. Nice pace on that throw from Matthew Romero. Ball out to the 42, a gain of 9.
And Trejo there with kind of a push tackle to bring him down, but a little bit too late after he had already gotten the first down.
Jess Caravello, the center, he's back from a hyperextended knee. There's the pitch out to McAtee. McAtee finds some room and picks up about close to 5 yards over that right side. So 2nd and 5, the ball out to about the 47 of El Segundo. Melton is split wide to the left. He's looking to him. He gives it to him. Melton to the 50, all the way to the 45 of Mira Costa. Another first down for El Segundo. And Melton's an interesting, well, they're going to spot it at the 44 of Mira Costa, but it is a first down. He's only a sophomore, but he's got good size, 6 foot, 180 pounds, and he's going to be a big part of this team going forward.
He's been a great receiver that stepped up when this team did need receivers. They were empty there to start the season, and number 16 has stepped up huge.
Yeah, he's got 4 catches, 53 yards. Now Romero's going to take off with this ball, and he's going to gain another 5 or 6 yards, and that's, the aspect of Romero's play that I think Mira Costa doesn't have on its offensive side. Their quarterback is not as mobile as Romero.
Yeah, very mobile quarterback in Matthew Romero. Has 86 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. He can definitely go on the ground when needed.
So he moved it to the 41 of Mira Costa, and it's a 2nd and 6. 4 receivers in this formation out of the shotgun. Romero looking to run again, and he will pick up a first down yardage and more, all the way inside the Mira Costa 30-yard line. Matthew Romero causing all kinds of problems for that Mira Costa defense early on here, all the way to the 28-yard line of Mira Costa, a pickup of 13 on the play.
Right on cue, as soon as we talked about his running abilities, Romero takes off, makes some defenders miss, and he's so agile for how big he is and so quick. Only his 3rd start at the varsity level. We always mention this, but it needs to be mentioned. Only his 3rd start at this level, and he's doing a terrific job so far.
So, yeah, Romero's 6'2", 195-pounder, so he's not all that easy to bring down. Now he's rolling out in the other direction. He better get rid of it. He does, and he's got Bonnie. Bonnie spins for additional yardage. Not much on the play, but maybe, well, they picked up maybe, well, I should take that back. They picked up 8. What am I talking about? So all the way down to the 20-yard line of Mira Costa, now in the red zone.
And the Mustangs that time blitzed. They brought in number 21, Evanson Frank Love, and a great job also by Romero seeing the blitz come from the right side and getting the ball off in time.
So it's a 2nd and 2 now. Romero working under center. There's a handoff to McAtee. He slips a tackle. He's into the secondary. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Danny McAtee.
Such a simple play, Diego, out of the I formation. Great job by the big man, Jess Caravelli. Gunner up front blocking. And then Kyle Freeman, also the fullback, led the way for number 5. Yesterday he turned 17 and now has a rushing touchdown in this ball game. Great job by Danny McAtee.
He just did that little stutter step close to the line and slipped a tackle there, and once he did that, he was gone. Very elusive runner. Here's the PAT try from Villalobos, and it's up, and it is good. So El Segundo now in the lead, 7-0 after a 4.5-minute drive spanning 75 yards. Very workmanlike drive, led by a couple of runs from Matthew Romero, but also a couple of nice passes, and they just mixed it up very nicely on that drive, and Mira Costa did not have an answer defensively. We'll see if they have an answer offensively. So 7-0 early going here in this one as El Segundo takes the lead, and now they're getting set to kick off back to the Mira Costa returners. I believe it's going to be Frank Love. That's a last name, by the way, not Evanson Frank Love is one of the returners. And I believe the other one is McMahon, Malachi McMahon. But Frank Love will handle this one around his 7, but he bobbles it a little bit. Now he's got it. He's up across the 10, 15, 20. Watch out, 25, watch out. He's all the way to the 38-yard line. Frank Love on that far sideline finally corralled out of bounds. But a pretty good run back from Mira Costa on that one.
I was going to say Frank Love kind of hesitated to pick the ball up after he fumbled it, but apparently he knew something we didn't know, that he had great speed and great vision with a huge return to give Mira Costa great field position to start off.
They got it all the way out to their 40. So a pretty good place to start for Reed Vibre. And he hands off, and nothing much there. In fact, a loss as that swarming El Segundo defense corrals the runner. Let's see, I'm trying to get the number on that runner. Was that Jonah? It was number 6, so it was not Jonah. It was Malachi McMahon, who came into the game with 23 carries, 171 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Their leading rusher, but nothing doing there. Well, they gave him some positive yardage. I thought he had lost yardage.
It looked like he did.
Well, they gave him 2 yards all the way to the 42. So 2nd and 8, another run. This time he gets around this end, and he is still going. That's a big pickup on that far side for Malachi McMahon.
Tim Shorts on the tackle for the El Segundo Eagles. He leads this team with 27 tackles total.
But it's a pickup of about 13, 14 yards all the way to the El Segundo 45-yard line there. So 13-yard pickup, first down, 6.5 minutes left here in this first quarter. El Segundo leading at 7-0. Mira Costa's first drive now, and they're keeping it on the ground, and they're continuing to pick up yardage with Malachi McMahon. They pick up another 6 over the middle there, all the way down to the El Segundo 39-yard line.
McMahon kind of with a leaping jump there towards the end to get a few more extra yards. Great effort by McMahon.
So far, Mira Costa keeping it on the ground and effectively as they eschew the passing game so far anyway. Now they're going to remain on the ground, and they're just piling up yardage on the ground. It's interesting. So the offensive line, which I was maligning in our open, they seem to be opening up some room. They've got 6-footer, 190-pound senior Ryan Owenessian, number 75, 6'1", 200-pound junior Bobby Millay, 72, 5'10", 200-pound senior Robert Finey, I hope I'm saying that right, Finney, I think. Finney is what is the correct. Finney, number 50. A 5'11", 205 junior, Tyler Harkenrider. And a 5'10", 195 junior, Jordan Corral, 54. Now that time, the El Segundo defense stiffened and did not allow them any yardage. Maybe one. They might get a yard out of that. So this will bring up a 2nd and 9. Well, they didn't give them anything, really. 2nd and 10.
Defense hit him so hard that Love's helmet came off.
So we'll have to see whether El Segundo's defense can stiffen here as Mira Costa starts to threaten. They are at the 31 of the Eagles right now. Reed Vibre under center. Now he puts a man in motion. That's Jake Salazar, number 10. Now he's going to pass. This is his first real throw. He's got Salazar. Oh. Salazar drops it. That one hit him right between the numbers. He should have had that one.
The 5'10", 170-pound junior definitely should have had that one, Diego. That's an easy grab. No one was even around him. Definitely should have came up with the catch.
So anyway, 3rd and 10. There's some of the El Segundo crowd wearing their, what is that, black tar? It's called eye black. That's what it's called. A little senior moment there. So 3rd and long. Fabre, a handoff, and El Segundo's defense, well, they almost gave up the 10 yards, but not quite. Now, Mira Costa's going to have a tough call here. They're probably going to go for it as they picked up most of the yardage they needed. Now, was that, I want to say, still Malachi McMahon? At any rate, they picked up 8. So all the way to the 23, and now it's a 4th and 2. And let's see, I think they're out of range of their field goal kicker, so they're going to go for it.
Yeah, you have to go for it here. Big call, though. Big 4th down coming up for the Mustangs.
I think 41's going to get it. No, I'm wrong. 41's blocking, and he's a big kid, and it's going to be close. They might have to measure. They're going to have to measure, I think.
That's close.
That's going to be close. They're going to have to measure this one. They might not have made it. They went behind their huge 6', 280-pound senior, Jonah Tabai, and they didn't make it, I guess. I mean, El Segundo is changing personnel, and so is Mira Costa.
Yeah, they're not measuring it.
The defense did a great job there to force the turnover on downs. Great job by the defense because they handed it off to Malachi McMahon, but he ran behind the huge 6', 280-pound senior, Jonah Tavai, and El Segundo diagnosed it properly and did a great job of defending that play and stopping them cold. So right now, El Segundo back on offense, but that first play did not go well as the pitch was to McAtee, but they were spying on him, and they really had him covered there.
Roman Petch came in hard with the tackle.
So a loss of several yards. They lost about 5 there.
And you know, this defense now for the Mira Costa Mustangs has to be fired up after their offense drove all the way to about the 20-yard line and could not convert. They got to come up big.
There's a throw from Romero, and he's got his man, but number 7 starts going backwards. That was not a good idea. So he lost a little. That's Mike Gonzalez. He might have lost a yard after he caught the ball because he started going back. But they picked up. There was a pickup of about 8 yards there. It's going to bring up a 3rd and about 7. The ball on the 25 of El Segundo. So they'll have to probably put it up here if they hope to pick up this first down. Here we go, 3rd and 7. They're going to work out of the shotgun. Romero will. He's got 4 receivers and a single setback. He's looking downfield. He's got happy feet. He's going to be sacked.
McMahon.
Yeah, he didn't get much of a chance there. They must have been blitzing a linebacker, I guess. Number 6 got in there. Is that number 6? I believe it was.
Malachi McMahon came in there.
Yeah.
No chance. Just like if you're a fan of the WWF, Vince McMahon's theme song said no chance.
He didn't have much time there.
He didn't have any chance right there, did Matthew Romero.
Yeah. So they were blitzing, and they worked out to their advantage. So now it's time to punt for the Eagles. First time that they will be punting in tonight's game. Trying to see if that's number 9. It is. Gets off a pretty good punt. That's Romero. And the bounce is sort of a neutral bounce. So they've gone away from that little
Pooch punt type of thing.
And it's just something a little more traditional, especially in that dangerous zone of the field, because they had a couple of those blow up in their face. The Eagles did a couple of those sort of option to run, maybe pooch punt with Romero. This time they went straight punt. And now Mira Costa gets pretty good field position again. They're going to start on their 46. So good field position for Mira Costa for their second drive of this evening, with time starting to run a little low here in the first quarter. 2 minutes left in the first. El Segundo leading it 7-0. There's another handoff. This one I think is to Jonah Tavai. He's a big kid. As I mentioned, 6 foot, 280 pounds. Oh, excuse me, was that Hill? Vashon Hill. Not as big.
5'8", 190.
Yeah, big difference. So they stopped him with just a minimal gain, maybe a yard. So 2nd and 9, let's call it. Salazar is split wide to the left, but he's rolling right. He throws right. He's got his man, and that's completion, and he's got a lot of room to run. Does the receiver. Finally pushed out of bounds by a couple of defenders, but they found the tight end, Eddie Donovan, and that's a big pickup of about, well, close to 20 yards there.
That's a great pickup right there by Donovan, rolling out, and a nice run after the catch as well. Getting some good yak right there.
So 33 to the El Segundo 33. So about 16 yards on the play. And first down for Mira Costa. Under a minute left here in this first quarter, as Vabre brings up his troops to the line. Haven't had a single yellow flag in this game yet. There's McMahon, Malachi McMahon, spinning forward for several yards. And that could be the last play of the first quarter. Well, maybe not. Maybe they'll squeeze one more off. 30 seconds left in this first stanza of tonight's game. And, you know, Mira Costa has looked like they can move the ball in this game so far.
Oh, yeah, doing a great job, especially on the ground with McMahon, who is the leading rusher for Mira Costa with 171 yards coming into this game and 2 touchdowns.
So Vabre under center. Now he's going to air it out. He's got time. He's got a receiver, and it's complete. He's just shy of the first down as Salazar, as McAtee covered him quickly after the catch. It's going to bring up a 3rd and maybe 1, and that is the last play. 3rd and 2, let's say. That's the end of the first quarter, with the Eagles leading it 7-0 on a Danny McAtee 20-yard scamper. So Mira Costa driving the ball, though, so certainly a competitive game thus far. Mira Costa hasn't looked lost like Oak Park did last week. They didn't look like they were ready for the game on some level. And Mira Costa looking very much alive in tonight's proceedings.
I think what's going to be the big difference and the big playmaker here is going to be number 18 for the Mustangs, Reed Vibre. He's been doing a great job handing the ball off. McMahon's carried the load. But I think as this game progresses in the 3rd and 4th quarter, he's going to be forced to throw. And can he step up and make those throws? Can his receivers like Salazar step up and make those catches? I think is going to be the deciding factor in this ball game as the game progresses.
Well, we'll have to see if, of course, if they fall further behind, yeah, they will have to throw the ball. Right now, they're able to mix it up pretty well because they're having some success moving the ball on the ground. But if they do fall further behind, yeah, that will put Mira Costa in an uncomfortable position of having to throw it more. You can see that they're more comfortable running the ball in a way.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it seems that way anyway. They're successful with it so far. So 3rd and short. There's the give to the big running back, and I don't know if he got it. He fell forward. That's Tavai. And I think it's going to bring up 4th down. It's at the 23 of El Segundo. It's very close.
Close call here as Gunnar Rogers tries to hype up this
I'm trying
crowd.
to see where the marker is.
It's inches away.
Yeah, it's inches away. Now they put it back to 3rd down, but it's 4th. I mean, was there a flag there? No, they're going to measure. That's what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's going to be close, Diego. Inches away to decide this. It'll be a 4th down or a 1st down for the Mustangs.
Well, I'm sure they'll go for it if it's a 4th.
Yeah, the way things have been going so far, they have.
No, it's a 1st down. I think. Well, no, it's an inch. They're an inch short. They're an inch short.
Let's see if they go for it and stick to their running game. They got some big guys up front, especially that big fullback.
Well, they got to just do a quarterback sneak here. He is 5'10", 220.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need an inch. So,
the quarterback's a big guy himself, too.
Yeah, they should just do a quarterback sneak with, they got a kid who's 220 at quarterback. All he's got to do is just get a little push behind his center, and they've got it.
Yeah, but Bray's like a fullback back there playing quarterback tonight.
Well, let's see what they do. They've got the big guy, Tavai. He gets it, and it's a 1st down. He just pushes the pile, and he's still on his feet. They're not bringing him down yet. So he picked up a lot more than what he needed. He picked up about, 12 yards or something. I mean, he's a load at, 6 foot 280. So, and he showed it there. They just couldn't bring him down all the way to the 11-yard line. So that's a pickup of, about 10, 11 yards. 1st down. It's not 1st and goal because they're outside the 10. They can pick up a 1st down at the 1. So Mira Costa threatening. There's another give. And a fumble. El Segundo came up with the ball. That's number 4, Montani, and Hill coughed it up for Mira Costa, and that's a huge mistake by Mira Costa as they were closing in on a score.
Especially, Diego, after they converted on 4th and short. That momentum was in the Mustang side, but man, what a huge turnover. Great job by Montani and this defense. Another big play by this El Segundo defense could be crucial in this ball game.
Well, it certainly is a big lift for that defense as they looked like they were getting set to give up some points, and instead, no siree Bob. And now El Segundo will start from their 21. There's a quick out. Good job by number 7 to elude a couple of tacklers as he gets out there. Gonzalez did a really nice job of eluding 2 tacklers. He's got to be careful. Don't start taunting at the end of the play. No flags, but a nice pickup by Gonzalez. At any rate, they picked up about 6 yards on the play.
Yeah, you definitely got to control those emotions. The senior should know better, especially early on in this ball game.
So, second and about, let's call it 5. Working out of the shotgun is Romero. The give is to his running back, Montani, the man who just recovered that fumble, and the pickup is of a couple of yards. It'll bring up a 3rd and short, maybe 3rd and a long 2. Ball just nuzzling the 30-yard line as they try to pick up this first down. And this is a big first down because you want to keep your defense off the field after that long drive that Mira Costa just put together. It didn't result in points for Mira Costa, but they kept the El Segundo defense on the field for a little while. There's the give up the middle, and boy, I don't think they got it. I don't think they got much of anything there.
Doesn't look like it, Diego. They're going to be short here on this 3rd down attempt.
I guess did Freeman get the ball there? The play went off kind of quick. There was no gain, and El Segundo will have to punt this away. 4th and 2. So Romero is out there to punt.
Good job by the Mustangs defense coming up with a stop there.
Good snap. Romero gets a decent kickoff. Trejo fumbles it. Now somebody else picks it up. Petch picks it up, and Petch is loose. That's trouble for El Segundo. Boy, Mira Costa got lucky there as number 3, Petch. Roman Petch picked it up and ran it down that far sideline. He found a little seam and got some pretty darn good yardage out of it.
Yeah, Trejo needs to thank Petch when he goes back to the sideline there. Trejo fumbled it, Petch picked it up, and a huge run back by number 3, giving the Mustangs great field position now to start. Back and forth, this game is going like 2 heavyweight boxers in the early rounds, feeling each other out. These 2 teams are.
Well, all the way to the El Segundo 38, so that's where Mira Costa will start. Great field position, and they're going to keep it on the ground. Malachi McMahon, pretty good yardage. He picks up almost 8, picks up 7, maybe 8, depends where they spot it. So they give him 7, all the way to the 31 of El Segundo, 2nd and 3. 8.5 minutes left in the first half. El Segundo leading at 7-0, but Mira Costa has had the ball most of the time in the past several minutes on offense. Here's McMahon, good defense this time, but McMahon with great second effort. I believe he picks up the first down with a great second effort as he was wrapped up there on the defensive side. I believe it was Schartz had him, but McMahon just kept pushing forward, and the play hadn't been blown dead, so they pick up a first down. The ball now inside the 25, so it's all the way to the 24 of El Segundo. Pickup of about 3 or 4 on that play.
And now this Mira Costa offense threatening the El Segundo defense. Let's see if they can come up with another big turnover or another big stop like they did the previous possession.
Fabre under center, he's going to throw. He's going for it all, and he overthrows his intended receiver.
They had a man open there, just a little overthrown by Reed, and had to have that call right there, that catch right there for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Fabre was looking for Cody Collenbach, but he overthrew him. So that's a little bit of a break for the Eagles. 2nd and 10. They'll probably keep it on the ground here, I bet. And they do. There's McMahon. And he's turning out to be a big weapon, Malachi McMahon. And I'm a little surprised how well they're running on El Segundo.
Especially with some of those defensive linemen being back, Jess Caravella and Ben Rojas back for the Eagles.
Well, Caravello's on offense, so I don't know. I don't think he goes both ways, does he?
He played in the Lusinger game. He played a little bit of defensive tackle.
No, he's not out there right now. But at any rate, third and short, and they keep it on the ground, and this is going to be close. I don't think they pick this up. I think they're just a little bit short, but they're going to go for it on fourth down, I'm sure.
You have to down there.
Yeah, McMahon was the runner. Let's see where they spot this ball. If they give him a favorable spot, it might be a first down. But I thought it was at the 15, and they're giving it to him at the 14. Well, where are they spotting the ball? I don't know where they're spotting the ball. Spot the ball. It's at just inside the 15. It's fourth and again an inch or two.
Very short, fourth and very, very short for the Mustangs. Here they go, they got it.
Yeah, quarterback sneak with that big quarterback. They picked up 4 yards, easy. So they're doing it all on the ground. They're just steamrolling on the ground all the way to the inside the 10. So now it's first and goal for Mira Costa. Just over 6 minutes left here in the first half. El Segundo still leading 7-0.
And not only have they run the ball great, have the Mustangs, they're also eating up a lot of clock here in the second quarter. Like you said, Diego, Mira Costa has had the ball most of this quarter.
Keeping it on the ground. Pickup of about 5. I believe it's Malachi McMahon again. Let me see if I got that right. Villalobos comes up a little gimpy. And he's looking to the sideline as if he's maybe, and I think El Segundo's going to call timeout. Yes, El Segundo's calling timeout. I think they're a little gassed. And I think Villalobos looked a little, number 13 for El Segundo, looked a little gimpy. I hope it's not serious. They can't afford to lose him. He's an integral part of the team. But Mira Costa moving the ball very much on the ground, and El Segundo a little bit on its heels now after that initial score where they took the lead. They've been their offense has been kept off the field, as we just mentioned, and let's see if they can make another stop. I mean, the last one, the stop was on a turnover. They forced a turnover, but it's going to be tough to pull that one off twice in a row. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I think the most surprising thing so far in this ball game, we knew it was going to be close. We knew it was going to be back and forth, but how well the Mustangs are rushing on this very good El Segundo defense so far.
Well, El Segundo did graduate a lot of kids on up front in their defense, so maybe it's showing up a little bit here tonight. So, second and goal, Mira Costa at the 5 of El Segundo. There's the give, and it's into the end zone rather easily for Malachi McMahon. Nobody really touched him, and that's got to make Coach Dan Heck a little unhappy as McMahon just kind of waltzed in there, and now they're going to go for the PAT to tie the score. So a 5-yard TD scamper by McMahon. Here's the PAT try. And it's blocked! It's blocked!
Montani came in right through the line and got a hand on it. Great job by the special teams now stepping up. And it's 7-6 El Segundo.
So that's a big play there by the El Segundo special teams as they managed to hang on to the lead by the slimmest of margins. But that could turn out to be a big thing later on in this game. We'll just have to see. Sometimes those extra points, when you don't get them, they can come back to haunt you. We'll see. So 7-6, plenty of time left in this first half. 5.5 minutes, just over 5.5 minutes in the first half, as the El Segundo coaching staff is having a word with its squad.
And realistically, I know the Mustangs just went down and scored on the El Segundo Eagles, but I think after that blocked PAT attempt, I think the momentum is back on El Segundo's side.
Well, they got to feel a little bit better, at least, that they still have the lead anyway, as back deep to receive this kickoff. It's McAtee. And I'm trying to see who the other player is. Well, they kick it again to McAtee. He's up to the 20. 25, 30, 35. He's gone. He's gone. 40, 30, 20. Bye-bye. McAtee! A 90-yard run back. And why did they kick it to him? I don't get it.
You said it, Diego. They kicked it to him. Bad idea, and he just proved it. Why? Because a 90-yard run back, punt return for a TD just like that. We weren't sure if the momentum was back on El Segundo's side. I think it is now.
What a momentum shifter that is, as Danny McAtee just showing why he is the leader in all-purpose yards on this El Segundo team. I mean, he's just piling up those special teams yards on the kickoff returns, the punt returns. So, and there's the PAT by Villalobos. It is good, so El Segundo extends its lead to 14-6. And I'm not sure if I got the yardage right. I said 90, but did you notice where he caught it exactly?
It was about there, 90, maybe 85 yards. It's probably about the 10 to 15 yard line.
Well, in any case, it was a spectacular run back, and it's just interesting that, you know, they haven't, that the opponents haven't spotted that in the film, and you got to see it when you watch the film that this kid is special on the punt returns and the kickoff returns. He's very dangerous. So Mira Costa will probably be kicking it away from him for the rest of the night.
Yeah, you're right, Diego. I mean, not only did he do damage on the special teams last year as a junior, but even this year, these first two games against Lusinger and Oak Park, he has run it back for a punt return touchdown this season. So definitely Mira Costa messed up there when they did their homework, didn't look at number 5 on those punt returns.
Well, that was a kickoff return, but still,
kickoff return, excuse me, yeah.
You know, it's the same thing. I mean, it's the same concept, obviously. He's just lethal, and you got to kick it away from him at any rate. So now it's El Segundo's time to kick it off, and Villalobos kicks a little low-line drive, and it's picked up at about the 7-yard line by the Mira Costa player, who does not get very far. That was 21, I believe, who had that kickoff return. And that was Frank Love. That's his last name. Again, want to clarify that. Evanson Frank Love. All the way to the 20, let's call it. The Mira Costa 20.
James Freilich on the tackle there for the Eagles, the sophomore coming up big on special teams. And he's a guy who's trying to find his place on the squad, playing offense, defense, and special teams.
So Mira Costa with just over 5 minutes left in the first half, trailing 14-6. And now the first flag of the game. We've come a long way without a flag in this game.
Not bad, 5:13 in the second quarter.
Yeah, and it's against Mira Costa, motion. So somebody must have moved early, and this is going to cost them 5 yards. I didn't see who it was, but anyway, pushes them back to their own 15. So 2nd and 15.
This could be a slippery slope for the Mustangs. Let's see how they recover.
Well, the one thing is that the El Segundo defense is back on the field very quickly. I mean, so let's see if they just keep grinding it on the ground. But El Segundo's defense steps up that time and stops the run. Looked like number 52 was one of the tacklers in there.
That's just Caravelli finally there.
Okay,
on
so
defense.
now Caravello's back out there on defense. Okay, so no gain. 2nd and 15. And if El Segundo can stop them here, that would be a big deal, because that would mean El Segundo will get good field position, which they haven't had lately. So 2nd and 15. Verbrey will probably have to put it up here. Nope, they're going to keep it on the ground, and they pick up the 5 yards that they lost, but it's going to bring up a 3rd and 10.
Playing it safe on the ground is Mira Costa with McMahon that time.
Yeah, Malachi McMahon, and he's got a lot of yards in this half, and now it's 3rd and 9. They're going to say it's up to the 21. So I think they got to put it up. I mean, they can't hope to gain 9 on the ground necessarily. We'll have to see what kind of confidence they have in their passing game here. 4 minutes left in the first half. El Segundo up 14-6. Still operating under center is number 18, Vibre. He's back to pass. He's airing it out. He's going deep, and he has overthrown his receiver, his intended receiver, number 86, Kallenbach. And he's done that a couple of times with Kallenbach, overthrown him.
That's the second time in crucial situations. One in the end zone there for a touchdown on the left side, and now for could have been a huge first down, perhaps another touchdown there. So twice he's overthrown. Reed has overthrown his receivers. That could have been big plays.
So the punting team is out for Mira Costa. And let's see, I bet you it's Danny McAtee back to receive, right? So they're going to try to kick it away from him, you would think. Well, it's a fair catch called for by Danny McAtee. So El Segundo does get the good field position at its own 45-yard line, and they've got the lead. So El Segundo will probably look to put together a little drive, and the ideal situation, of course, for Coach Shevlin would be to put together a little drive, chew up this clock, and punch it in as very little time left on the first half. That's, the ideal scenario for El Segundo, but we'll see if that happens. At the 46, they give it to the Eagles, their own 46.
In a perfect world, the Eagles would score here with 1 second remaining before halftime.
Well, we'll see what happens. Romero out of the shotgun. He's rolling out. He doesn't see anybody, but he's still running, and he throws it, and it's out of bounds. That was kind of a dangerous sort of throw, but he threw it so that nobody could really catch it in bounds. So no harm done. 2nd and 10, and looked like Mira Costa has these little controlled rollouts sort of diagnosed. They're doing a good job in keeping the El Segundo receiving core blanketed.
Well, they've watched film on that because
Sure.
the rollout play by Romero, he loves to go there. Went to Kyle Freeman twice on that play last week. Both of those plays for touchdowns against Oak Park.
So 2nd and 10. The Eagles have 4 receivers in this set. Oh, and Romero was not expecting the snap. He was not expecting the snap, so they got confused on the count or whatever.
There's some flags, some more laundry here on the field.
So motion against the Eagles, they were all messed up on that play. So that's going to cost. And so this ideal scenario that we had talked about is rapidly evaporating here, as now it's going to be second and long, all the way back to the 41. And it's 2nd and, let's call it 15. And Romero has shown the ability to make big plays, though, in these types of situations thus far this year. So we'll see what he can do here. This will be interesting because they're going to bring some heat, you can probably bet. Mira Costa will. So Romero out of the shotgun. He's forced to run. There's a blitzer. Get rid of it. He does. He's got a man open, and he just underthrew him. And Mike Gonzalez, well, he wasn't coming back towards the ball. He sort of didn't really realize what kind of trouble his quarterback was in there, I think.
That could have been a play of the year candidate right there. Yeah, you're right. Gonzalez perhaps thought that the ball was going to come to him, and if he would have taken maybe a step backwards, they would have had a huge catch. But Romero also on the other side had guys in his face. He had pressure in him.
Yeah.
They did bring the blitz, did Mira Costa. Didn't have enough time to stop, set, and throw that football.
So 3rd and long, 3rd and about 15. And let's see what Coach Shevlin calls here. 4 receivers, 3 of them to the right. Romero rolling to the right. He better get rid of it. Oh boy, oh boy. Romero did not, was not aware. They're going to call it incomplete pass. I think they're saying it's an incomplete pass. So that's a break for El Segundo because it could have been a fumble. They're saying that his arm was in a forward motion, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it was in a throwing motion.
So a break for El Segundo there. And Romero's got to be more aware of these blitzing Mira Costa linebackers. And he just doesn't have as much time as he would like, I guess. Anyway, that rosy scenario that we depicted that Coach Shevlin would have loved, instead they only chew up 30 seconds of clock time and they go nowhere.
You go backwards.
Yeah, go backwards. So the punt is away. It's a line drive, which is not good for the Eagles. And Mira Costa's Trejo is running it back, and he's loose. He's all the way back to the, or is that McMahon? At any rate, all the way back beyond midfield. So Mira Costa's now in good shape to mount some sort of a late scoring drive.
Good hustle by Montani going out there and getting that tackle. That could have been big.
Yeah, it could have been big. Ball right at midfield, and Mira Costa has plenty of time, 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes, to try and do something with this last possession, what could be the last possession of the first half. Vabre bringing his troops up to the line. There's the run. And a gain of 3 or 4 yards, not a lot. And that'll keep the clock running, so that's favorable to El Segundo.
There was the leading tackle for El Segundo on that tackle, Tim Shorts.
So let's call it 4, 2nd and 6. Yeah, if they keep it on the ground like that, they will chew up a lot of the clock fairly quickly. Now we've got exactly 2.5 minutes left in this opening half. 14-6 El Segundo as Mira Costa's trying to drive downfield, and now there's a sack! And that was 17, Alex Rohn, the 6'2", 185-pound junior, throwing Vabre back for a big loss. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and long. They lost about 7 yards on that.
Alex Ron there, Diego, came with a suplex, taking down a spear, or whatever you want to call it. Just came in hard with authority on that sack.
So big play for the El Segundo defense. Now we have timeout on the field. Who called timeout? Did you see that? Anyway, probably Mira Costa. This is a big play for them. I do want to give a shout out. I was speaking with some of the Mira Costa coaching staff prior to this game, and they wanted me to give a shout out to Tom Wicks, one of their former coaches who moved down to the area. They're saying get well soon and get back here. They want him back here in Mira Costa, back where he belongs, they say. They're hoping he moves back. He moved to the East Coast, and they're saying, get on back here, Tom Wicks. So here's a throw from Vabre. He's under pressure. He's going deep. The man is covered, and the throw is well over his intended receiver. So now that's going to bring up a 4th and long. So Vabre showing a propensity to overthrow his receiver. He's got a strong arm, it looks like, but he's overthrowing his receivers.
Very strong arm, nice spiral on all those throws, just way overthrown, not on target, especially that one, but great job by Hunter Lidge on the coverage.
Yeah, the coverage was good. So a punting situation for the Mustangs. Still plenty of time for the El Segundo offense to do something if they can get a good run back, which, I'll be surprised if they don't kick it on the ground. They should, okay, so that's one way to kick it away from McAtee. A horrible punt there.
That's Tavai on the punt.
Tavai on the punt. Well, maybe that's not his thing to do, his main thing. He's more of a running back and a blocker. He's a big kid. Anyway, he kind of shanked it, I think, and it went off the side of his foot maybe. Yeah. Anyway, McAtee did not get a chance to run it back, but the El Segundo Eagles get great field position as that punt only went about, 12, 13 yards in the air. From the line of scrimmage, it only went a very short distance. So El Segundo picking up the ball at its 45-yard line, 1st and 10. Just over 2 minutes left. And let's see, somebody moved. Who moved?
That's encroachment there on Ryan Ohensian.
Oh, yeah, okay, Ohenesian.
Ohenesian.
Oh, no, they're saying it's against El Segundo. They're pacing it off against El Segundo. So 5 yards against the Eagles. So
that's when it looked like, that's when we wish we had replay. Go back and look at that.
indeed. So second and long. No, excuse me, first and long. First and 15. Ball at the 40 of El Segundo now. The handoff was to Montani. Short pickup, maybe 4 or 5 yards. Jorge Montani, 5'10", 190-pound senior, came into the game with 5 carries and 31 yards. But his big play tonight was the fumble recovery. Now another timeout on the field. El Segundo, I think, called this one, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't see it, but it must be the Eagles. So the Eagles call timeout, and with 1:54 left, and the Eagles holding the lead 14-6, they are strategizing on the sideline, near the sideline there. This is what to do with this second and long. It's second and about 11. The ball at about the 44 of the Eagles.
Excited El Segundo fan base as they have a 14-6 lead almost at halftime. 1:54 remaining here, Diego.
So big sequence of plays here for the Eagles. They can really, I wouldn't say they can put a dagger in the hearts of Mira Costa. There's a whole half, but it would certainly be a big psychological letdown for the Mira Costa. Oh, fumble by Romero. Well, he keeps his feet.
He's still alive.
But not for long. He picked up a yard after all that. So now another timeout, it looks like, and now it's Mira Costa calling timeout. So they want the ball back with some time. That's their thinking. They're thinking they can get the ball back, they can have some time still, and they can maybe tie up the score if they can do something. The ball at the 45 of the Eagles, so it's going to be a 3rd and 10. And Coach Shevlin trying to diagram a winning play here, a first down play that'll pick up 10 yards is what I'm trying to say.
Well, Coach Shevlin yesterday at practice told these guys, hey, we've done everything we can do. Just relax, play football, take it a play at a time. And if you do that, we'll be in good position to win this game. And so far, so good. A few little mistakes here and there, especially, Diego, the last few plays, the center quarterback connection has had some problems there as Romero either wasn't ready for the snap or fumbled the snap the last few plays. So let's see if they can clean that up.
Yeah, they haven't been as smooth as it have been. Pretty good crowd here tonight on both sides. El Segundo, of course, everybody out here for this game, and Mira Costa not far away, obviously, so a lot of people on that side. So here we go, 3rd and about 9. Romero under pressure again. He's been under pressure all night long, and this time he is brought down for a big loss. Let's see who got in there. 75, I think, looks like.
Also, Jonah Tavai,
Tavai, yeah.
Maybe he can't punt, but he can definitely rush the quarterback. Did a great job there.
He's such a big kid. So, El Segundo will have to punt. 1:15 left in the first half. 14-6 the score. Romero will go out there and do the punting duties. Back deep, let's see who they've got. I think it's Trejo, number 8. Cole Trejo. So it looks like Romero will hit this right just beyond his 25-yard line. Now there's some whistles from the officiating crew. Some sort of, another penalty against El Segundo. Delay of game, perhaps? Referee is Ken Smotris, umpire John Bruner, headlinesman Glenn Noya, line judge John Labella, and the back judge Steve Smotris. Ken Smotris and Steve Smotris brothers. So anyway, now he'll be punting from his own about 20 is where he'll be hitting it. Now the 22. He gets a good foot into this one. Romero, great punt. And good coverage by El Segundo. And
James Freilich.
Number 14, Freilich, is all over Trejo. And 0 yardage. on that return or even negative yardage, and the special teams have done a great job for the Eagles thus far tonight.
Fraley coming up with another huge tackle on special teams, and like I said, the sophomore is trying to earn his spot somewhere on this team, doing it all on offense, defense, and special teams.
So Mira Costa gets the ball on its 20, and they're going to have to drive a long ways to get this tying score. And it's less than a minute now in this half, 43.8. If they're going to keep it on the ground, it's going to be tough to do. But they do keep it on the ground, and McMahon grinds out 8 yards. He's got a lot of yards this half. I don't know. We don't have our ace statistician in the booth this year, Bob Binder's son Mark graduated, so he's not up here, which is a big loss for us on the broadcasting team. Now there's another give up the middle, and I'm surprised how conservative they're being.
Playing it safe.
Yeah, they're not gonna get the tying score. They're just gonna play it safe. They're only down by 8, so, and there's a whole half of football, so maybe the thinking is they don't want to make a mistake. And that's going to be the last play of the half, and so El Segundo will go into the halftime leading it 14-6 over the Mira Costa Mustangs. So it looks like an exciting second half of football upcoming.
It's a rivalry game, Diego, just like we expected, back and forth, a close matchup just like last year. Hard hitting. It's been great so far. Another 2 great quarters coming up. Let's go down to the sidelines with Brittany Rodriguez.
Thanks, guys. All right, Coach, we talked about in practice your special teams. They're doing great out there. Is there anything else you want to clean up?
Well, we got to clean up some of the pass protection. We're trying to get Matt out of the pocket, and we keep him in the pocket. Jonah Tavai's doing a really good job getting pressure on us. So I think we got to revert. We're going to go quick and short and see if we can get him outside, do something to contain him. And he's just executing the plays at this point. Defense is playing lights out, and special teams has really come through. He's second half to play, so you never know.
Now, McMahon seems to be one of the big threats on that side. How are you going to stop that? Put some pressure on.
I'll let Coach Heck get together with his defense and decide what they want to do. I know they're going to run and play action, so defensively we got to be prepared for the play action. I think we're doing a great job, and we have to keep the offense on the field a little bit longer, let the defense get some rest.
Hey, great first half out there. Diego Egidio, back to you.
Thanks, Brittany. Well, certainly an exciting half coming up. It's a close game. We'll just have to see how it turns out. Keep it right here on El Segundo Television. We got second half action coming your way. El Segundo Eagles coming back onto the field as we just about set for the second half to begin. El Segundo will be kicking to Mira Costa. El Segundo leads at 14-6. And it was interesting, Egidio, listening to Coach Shevlin's interview with Brittany Rodriguez at the end of the first half, and listening to what his thoughts were on getting Matthew Romero away from some of that pressure that he's been feeling. So we'll see how that works out. They're going to try to maybe use some screens or get the ball out of his hands more quickly at any rate, because he just hasn't had the time. And we'll have to watch for that here in the second half. And Coach Shevlin also mentioned the fact that, his defense was on the field a little bit more than he would like. And so the offense has to sustain something to try and keep the defense a little more rested, because that ground game of Mira Costa's is sort of a bruising, kind of punishing sort of attack that grinds you down if you got to face it for too long.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes in the second half as El Segundo holds the lead still, 14-6 as I mentioned, but it's a close game. Anything can happen here. Back to receive, Frank Love and McMahon. Here's the kickoff. It's bouncing. McMahon has trouble with it. Now he picks it up at the 2. El Segundo's all over him. Oh, but he gets away from some tacklers. They missed a crucial tackle back there. And now McMahon does manage to get it out beyond the 20. So that's unfortunate for the Eagles. And I see a Eagle limping after this play, and that's 17, Alex Roan, one of the linebackers. No, one of the defensive end. And El Segundo can ill afford to lose him. Looks like he's going to stay in there.
Yeah, Ron has an interception, couple sacks on the season, and is third in the team in tackles.
So Mira Costa takes over at its 24. Obviously, their star offensively in the first half was number 6, Malachi McMahon. We don't have the exact yardage for him, but I would guess that he ran for about 75 yards in that first half. And now they're coming out throwing the ball. Interesting. And it's complete to Tavai. And a good defense there by Villalobos just to bring down Tavai, who, as we said, goes 6 foot 280. So you got to go down low. You can't bring him down by trying to, go up high on him.
You're not going to go one-on-one and win that battle, I guarantee you.
Yeah, not if you go up high. I mean, if you wrap up the ankles, you can bring him down. But, all right, so pickup of about 6, 2nd and 4 for Mira Costa. There's another give. This time, El Segundo doing a great job of defending that run, led by 52. That's the center who's come back. As you mentioned, Jess Caravello was one of the tacklers there, and a loss on that. Well, maybe they give him 1 yard. The ball is out to about the 31-yard line. It's a 3rd down, crucial play early on here in terms of getting this defense off the field. Coach Shevlin does not want them to stay on the field too long. So 3rd and 3. Vabre brings the Mira Costa team up to the line, the throw, and it slips through the hands of Jonah Tavai. And it's going to bring up a 4th down. So it's interesting that they're going through the air now.
Yeah, and Diego, that was actually a good throw. Usually Reed has overthrown his intended receivers, but that was actually a good throw just out of the hands of Tavai. Could have had that big catch right there. Could have turned perhaps the momentum, kept this drive going for the Mustangs.
4th down. And Tavai goes back to do the punting as well. Let's see if he goes away from McAtee. Oh, bad snap. Tavai's in trouble. He's in trouble. And El Segundo wraps him up at the 22. El Segundo will get the ball deep in Mustang territory.
The special teams have been key, especially for the Eagles in this ball game. Big stop by the special teams right there. Villalobos, there you see it. Tim Schartz, 2 of those guys on that tackle, breaking through the line and getting to the punter. Great job by the Eagles.
Well, there was a low snap there, and there's the El Segundo crowd jubilant up in the stands as El Segundo now has a very short field to go. Romero, the give is to Freeman, and nothing going there, nothing doing. And again, the snap was a little low there, a little low out of the shotgun. Loss of about a yard. They've got to pick up some points out of this situation. The ball at the 23, let's call it, of Mira Costa, 2nd and 11. El Segundo with a golden opportunity here to add to the 14-6 lead that they have. So 2nd and long. Romero, the snap is good this time, but there's flags, so somebody must have moved. Oh boy, El Segundo moved. So mistake here by the Eagles, and this is going in the wrong direction for them when they were really in a great situation, and now I would say they're probably out of field goal range, or yeah, probably. They need to make a play here. They need to make a play on offense to the Eagles if they want to make something happen. So ball pushed back to the 28, let's say, of Mira Costa. So 2nd and long, 2nd and about 16. Romero airs it out, and it's, almost intercepted. Almost a disaster for the Eagles as Trejo was the linebacker, the joker, as they call him on the Mira Costa coaching staff, had that ball in his grasp, and he would have been gone, I believe.
There's a small window there to Bonnie, but 3 white jerseys all around him. That was perhaps a throw that Romero would like to have back. Too much traffic in that area there where Bonnie was.
Well, the Eagles got away with it. 3rd and long. Let's see what they do here, whether they try to keep it on the ground and maybe get close enough for a field goal, or whether they're going to air it out. He's going to air it out. He's in trouble. He's going to run. He's going to pick up some positive yardage, but not enough for a first down. The question is, do you go for it on fourth down here? It's going to be fourth and about 11 or 12. Maybe you go for it. I don't know. Go into the end zone for a big play, maybe. I'm not sure if this is in field goal range for a try. It looks like they're setting up for a field goal try. And it's going to be a 40-yarder by Villalobos. Does he have the leg to do this? I'm not sure. We're going to find out right now. The snap is good. The kick is up. And it is no good. No good. So, but there's a flag. There's a flag. And is there a roughing the kicker? Yes, it's a flag, and it's against Mira Costa. I didn't see the signal, but I know it's against Mira Costa. Was it a roughing?
Yeah, I was running into the kicker.
Oh, my goodness. That is a crucial mistake by the Mustangs. Let's see. What official timeout. There's an official timeout. Somebody's down on the Mira Costa side. 86, that's Kallenbach, Cody Kallenbach. A senior, one of the captains, I believe, 6'3", 190-pounder, is down. But that's a big, big play, mistake, I should say. There's Kallenbach going off on his own, under his own power, maybe cramped up or something.
Yeah, they need him. He's one of their big receivers. He's their #1 receiver on this team.
Let's see. This is going to give El Segundo a much better shot at that field goal. The ball now inside the 20 all the way to the 18. And the question is, do you want to go for it and gamble big, or do you want to try the field goal again? I think they're going to try the field goal again. Now, this is within the range of Villalobos, I believe.
This is a much safer bet for Villalobos to hit this field goal than previous.
It's a 35-yarder, so still not a gimme, that's for sure. But if they get a good snap, he's got a good chance. The snap is good. The kick is up, and it's blocked. It's blocked. Oh, dear. Everything going wrong for the Eagles here. And Mira Costa recovers the ball. And what was a golden opportunity for the Eagles to put up some points after that muffed snap on the punt for Mira Costa goes by the boards, as the Eagles cannot capitalize at all. And Mira Costa ends up with pretty decent field position after the whole sort of debacle, let's call it.
Well, Coach Shevlin told me at practice yesterday, he said one area that we would like to clean up is special teams. Now, special teams today for the Eagles has done a great job so far, come up with some big plays, big tackles. That one there, they definitely need to go back and watch film on that one. Yep. And the coverage was not there for the Eagles.
So now we have a timeout on the field, timeout Eagles. And Eagles will have to regroup a little bit mentally here after that sort of went bad for them. 8.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. Eagles still holding the lead, 14-6. Coach Heck there. He might be giving his team a little heck. He's probably not happy with what happened there. I mean, they should have scored some points out of that. They had the ball 1st and 10 at the 22 of Mira Costa. All they would have really needed to do is maybe pick up 8 or 9 yards running any old way, and then they would have really been in great field goal range. And, you know, if they had gotten it to 17-6, then it's a 2-score game. Right now, just a 1-score game. 14-6, Mira Costa would, of course, need a 2-point conversion. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's see. Mira Costa takes over on its 40-yard line. El Segundo showing blitz. Let's see if they do. The run goes nowhere. El Segundo all over that run. One of the tacklers there was Gunnar Rogers. There were several others. No gain.
El Segundo did show blitz, and they brought blitz. They brought the linebackers, Tim Shorts and James Emerald, in on that play. Helped stop the no gain on the run.
So 2nd and 10. Vibre has got a man in motion. Now he's handing it off again for no gain, and that one was Hill. The man in motion was, I'm trying to find out, let's see, number 4, Jeremy Jackson. I haven't called his name. And now we have another timeout. Is it an official timeout? Yes, somebody is injured for the Eagles. That is not good news as we see number 63 limping off the field.
That's Ben Rosas, who was out last week because of an injury, just came back in this ball game. Hopefully he's okay.
Well, it might have been, because I think his injury was an ankle, so maybe a recurrence of that. 3rd and long. There's the throw. It's low. It's incomplete. His intended receiver was number 4, Jackson, the guy I just talked about that I hadn't spoken about much before, a 6-foot, 165-pound senior, but the throw was off. He did get a little pressure, did the quarterback, Bray, on that ball. I think 17 was in there a little bit.
Bray, that one was underthrown to his receiver.
Yeah, so punting time for Mira Costa. This time the snap is good. The punt is away. It's a good punt. And, oh boy, he should have fair caught that. And there's going to be a penalty, I believe, on Mira Costa because you have to let the punt fielder have a clean attempt at field. I mean, he got wrapped up before he even fielded it. I can't believe he even hung on to it. McAtee should have just made a fair catch call maybe there, but he didn't.
Yeah, he should have called a fair catch. And
maybe, well, he's thinking I could maybe do some magic again. He's got it in his feet, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's got the magic in his feet. But there, the Mira Costa man was right on top of him. I can't believe he even hung on to that ball. He got pasted as soon as he caught it. I think this is against Mira Costa. I don't know what the rule is. You have to give him a chance to catch it. There's Rosas. Let's see if they're working on that ankle, or it looks, yeah, it's we missed a save, but it's against Mira Costa. So El Segundo will get some additional field position out of this one. I think it's a 10-yarder. Let's see, maybe even more. It's a 15 yards. It's a big one.
That could have been also, Diego, I'm thinking, could have been a head-to-head because it looked like the tackler came off a little high, and it could have been a head-to-head collision. And they usually, especially at this level, at the high school level, the referees are very aware of that.
Well, in any case, El Segundo gets much better field position all the way to their 40. They need to make something happen on offense. They need to keep this offense on the field. There's the give, pickup of maybe 2 or 3. Is that Freeman on that carry? No, Montani, I believe. Montani. So short pickup. Let's say they give him 2. So 2nd and 8. Maybe they gave him 3. Whatever. It's a 2nd and long at any rate. Clock is running. 6:45 left in the 3rd. El Segundo still hanging on to this 14-6 lead over Mira Costa. They've got the spread formation under center. There's the pitch to McAtee. McAtee cuts it up and stays on his feet. Well, he picked up decent yardage up to the 46, maybe 4 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd down and maybe 4. And here's the type of play where Coach Shevlin might call the type of pass where you get the ball out of the quarterback's hands real quick, because you only need 4 yards. We'll see what they go with right here.
Yeah, Romero hasn't been a big factor here in the 3rd quarter. Let's see if he's the guy. Number 9 comes up with some magic here.
Romero out of the shotgun, rolling out, airs it out. He's got his man, and it's complete. And it's to number 16, Melton, on that far sideline. I believe that's who caught it. And so that's a nice pickup of about 7 or 8 yards. They only needed 3 or 4, so 1st down into Mira Costa territory. And that keeps the defense resting and the ball in the offense's hands. So 1st and 10, ball at the Mira Costa 45. Back to the shotgun. There's the give up the middle. Not much happening on that play. Montani picks up just 1. The ball to the 44 of Mira Costa. Romero coming to the sideline and then coming back in to get, he gets a play from Coach Shevlin, or maybe 1 or 2 plays. I'm not sure how they're doing. There's Coach Shevlin talking to Coach Engel, Matt Engel's dad, he was a standout quarterback here several years ago. There's another throw and a wide open Mike Gonzalez. And now he's getting savaged by the Mira Costa defenders. You just have to learn to go down sometimes.
It's a rugby pile down there.
Yeah, don't let yourself get abused in that fashion. So all the way to the Mira Costa 35 is the forward progress. And that is going to be, I believe, good enough for a first down, or they might have to measure, but it's awfully close. It's just outside of the 35. They might have to measure.
Yeah, another one of those looks like just inches short. If they don't get it, looks like it's just going to be a few inches short from the first down.
Well, they're discussing it. I think. Oh, they're going to pace off against Mira Costa. A big penalty. Oh. I never saw the flag, and I never saw a signal from the referee, but it's 15 yards. Oh, it's a personal foul.
Yeah, there was no flag on that one. That was interesting.
Well, there must have been, but we missed it. But that's a huge. So 2 huge penalties in this sequence.
In this drive, yeah.
All the way down to the Mira Costa 20 now, or just outside the 20. First and 10 for the Eagles. Romero now will work under center, and a fumble. Oh dear, these mistakes are killing the Eagles. I think they got the ball back, but there just seems to be, and is it because Carvello was out and now he's back and they haven't worked together that much? I don't know.
Well, it's only their second game together because you did miss that game last week. So
I don't know what's going on, but they're having some problems in terms of getting together on what the snap count is. I mean, that just looked like Romero wasn't ready for the snap. So they lost a yard. They're lucky not to lose the ball. 2nd and 11.
And Montani came up with the recovery there.
Montani's coming up with some loose balls in this game. Romero in trouble, but he takes it up the middle. And he picks up good yards, about 5 or 6, maybe 6, let's give him. That's important yardage because it puts the Eagles very much in field goal range, all the way down to the 15-yard line. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down. This is a big 3rd down play. 3rd down and about 4, maybe a long 4.
Well, it's more manageable now, this 3rd down, than it was if Romero would have been hit in the back.
Romero will work out of the shotgun. He's got Montani as the single setback. He's got 3 wide receivers. He's rolling. He's going to keep it. He better run it. He's got the flags. Romero got it inside the 10. So I think he got the first down, but there's a flag. And it's holding, and this is a killer. Holding an El Segundo, and it was so far away from the play that whoever committed the infraction should have realized, but sometimes you can't realize it. I was going to say he should have realized that his quarterback was out of the, and now we've got another El Segundo lineman coming out looking very gimpy. That's 67. And we've got Justin Delgado coming out looking like he was, I don't know. And see, that pushes them kind of out of field goal range. That was a huge penalty.
Big penalty there by the offensive lineman.
So that just really hurts as it pushes El Segundo all the way to the Mira Costa 27.
And no one's taken advantage of these penalties yet. Both teams have given each other gifts, but no one's taken advantage of them.
Romero gets the ball out quickly to McAtee. McAtee trying to get some positive yardage. He does. All the way close to the 20-yard line of Mira Costa. That's not going to be enough for a first down, that's for sure. But is it enough for Villalobos to crank one through the uprights?
That's going to be a tough call. He's missed one earlier.
He missed one earlier from about this distance, so maybe not.
He missed one last week, too. That's what Coach Shevlin told me, that he wants to get a little bit better. But Villalobos was after practice yesterday, did stay after, and was working on his kicking game.
So it's 4th and 10. The ball is at the 21 of Mira Costa, and they're going to go for it. They're not going to try the field goal, so maybe this is just a little bit beyond Villalobos' range. So anyway, 4th and 10. There's the throw, and it's complete, and that's a first down. Oh, and a fumble, but I think there's got to be a face mask. There was a clear face mask.
That's going to be a face mask and a personal foul right there. He came helmet to helmet. That one.
Freeman just got
That one should not be allowed.
Horse collared.
He got horse collar, grabbed by the face mask, and then it was direct hit to the head. That one,
So let's see what the call is here.
you can hear how this crowd feels, and that's
And they're
exactly.
trying to get the El Segundo sideline, which is incensed, back onto the sideline and off the field. Anyway, it was a great little pass, well thrown over the middle to Freeman. The 6 foot, 185-pound senior really paid the price over the middle there. But this is going to be against Mira Costa, I got to believe. There's 2 flags on the field, so I don't know if it's, what we got. We may have 2 separate infractions, but there was certainly an infraction against Freeman. I got to believe.
Walking up.
I got to believe because it seemed like he was getting, it seemed like he got face masked. I thought.
I would say face mask, and then there was a personal foul because the other guy came in straight aiming for his head.
Well, we'll see what they call. They're convening right there. You see the officials all talking amongst themselves. They got the ball all the way down to about the 5-yard line, did Freeman. So it's going to be a first down.
And you said if Freeman paid the price, but this could be a huge, huge benefit for the Eagles. This could be a very, very good scoring opportunity.
Well, it'll be half the distance, I guess, right? Because, there's only 5 yards left from the spot of the infraction. Let's see what the calls are. And
they're still talking over the other officials.
We have these typically very long discussions when we have these high school officials, and maybe they're discussing. I think it's 2 separate infractions, and I'm wondering if one of them might be against El Segundo just because where the flag was thrown in such a different area from where the first flag was. So anyway, we're waiting, and but it was a nicely executed play by the Eagles. A quick throw over the middle, a nice catch by Freeman, well thrown, well caught, and let's see. Here we go. We got a personal foul face mask. Okay, we saw that against Mira Costa. And what else do we have? That's all he signaled so far, the referee. But there were 2 flags thrown in. Maybe both officials saw the same thing. So it's half the distance.
Yeah, they're just going to give him first and goal right there.
Yeah.
About.
Oh, I just saw something shown against El Segundo. He just showed something against El Segundo. And he did it so quickly and so casually.
Oh, yeah, he brought it all the way back to the 20-yard line. Personal foul on El Segundo.
Wow. So this ultimately ends up really hurting El Segundo.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I didn't see the
Don't
personal
agree with
foul,
that
but something must have happened. Something that I didn't see, and I think it was away from the ball because it was. I saw the face mask. I did not see the other call, the other infraction, because the second flag was really away from where the first flag was, totally in a different area of the field. So something that we did not see, and it ends up actually really hurting El Segundo, who had picked up a first down. But let's see, do they end up? I think they get the first down. It shouldn't be 4th down. It should be first down. They got the first down.
I'm sure someone said something. One of the players said something down there.
It's a first down. So it's a first down, and then after the play was over, maybe somebody did something. And that's, El Segundo, the players have got to get themselves under control.
Well, after that tackle or whatever you want to call it, if you want to call it a tackle, I'm sure somebody said something down there, one of the players that.
Well, the ball, at any rate, is going to be at the 18 of Mira Costa, but it's a first down for El Segundo.
Coach Shevlin needing a little bit more of an explanation. So does this crowd after that one.
So 1st and 10. El Segundo ends up losing a lot of yards out of that personal foul call because they paced it from about the 3. They did a measurement of halfway to the goal line, so they gave El Segundo a couple of yards at the end of the play. And then they measured off 15 from about the 3, and so we end up at the 18. The only positive thing for El Segundo is that they do have a first down out of it. So their offense will stay on the field and have an opportunity to still get some points as they are inside the red zone and with a first down.
Coach Morrow getting an explanation also on the other side.
A lot of explaining, a lot of explanations.
Everyone's talking down
Well,
there.
I don't see what the Mira Costa side could be upset about, because they end up.
They came on the winning side on that one.
Well, maybe they're saying, why do they have a first down? But it's because they picked up the first down in the play. And the penalty at the end of the play even gives them more yardage.
Occurred after,
So then that, anyway.
Yeah, well, Segundo's penalty occurred after the first down, so that's why it got paced back, but it's still a first down.
But it's still a first down, so maybe everybody's all squared away now. And 1st and 10 for El Segundo from the Mira Costa 18. Looks like they'll go out of the shotgun on this spread formation. And there's the rollout, trying to and boy, that didn't work. As number 5 for Mira Costa, Coda Thormatsgaard made a nice little tackle, and boy, El Segundo losing more yardage, and now they're way out of field goal range. They lost 7 yards on that one, and now it's they lost 6 yards. 2nd and 16, more or less, at the 25 of Mira Costa. And the pressure that Romero has been feeling has been pretty relentless. And now he's going to run it up the gut. That's a good call. Positive yardage there.
Yeah, good run by Romero there.
Get it back inside the 20 to about the 19. No, they get it all the way back to the 17-yard line. So big pickup there, 8 yards. They just need to pick up some more positive yardage here to ensure a halfway makeable field goal try. They just cannot lose yards here. They've got to get a field goal try out of this at bare minimum.
Yeah, need to go forward on this play, need to get positive yardage and try to give your kicker a chance.
Romero out of the shotgun. There's the give to Freeman, and they got the positive yards. He's going to be short of the first, I believe. It's going to be close, but he's inside the 10, I will say, all the way to the 9. And it's going to be close. They might have to measure. No, they gave it to him right at the 10. And so I would go with a field goal attempt here, because this is makeable. 17, a 27-yarder. This is makeable for Villalobos. But I'm not sure that they're going for that in that direction. It's a 4th and 1.5.
Well, 24 seconds and winding down, they might just line up, Diego, and try to get them to jump.
Try to draw them off sides. Yeah, that could be a strategy here. Yeah.
They are lined up to go for it right now.
Yep. Out of the shotgun. McAtee is the single setback. Oh, please, tell me they didn't get a delay of game. Oh, my God. Delay of game. Oh, that is just brutal.
Mental mistakes, crucial here towards the end of the ball game.
You cannot have that happen in that situation. You just can't. Anyway, it did happen. So it's 4th and 6 now, and the ball's at the 15. Now, if you weren't going to try a field goal from the 11, you're certainly not going to try it from the 15, I guess. So they're going to go for it on 4th and 6. Big play here. Big play in this game as time is just about out in the third quarter. This is the last play of the third. 7 seconds left in the third. All kinds of whistles again. And now somebody wants timeout, and El Segundo wants timeout. They realize the import of this play, and they got to get this right. So yeah, a lot of mistakes, more flags in this third quarter. We didn't have a flag until there were only about 5 minutes left in the first half, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and that was Mira Costa. Then El Segundo got a flag with about 2 or 3 minutes left in the quarter, so it was a pretty clean first half.
Yeah.
This third quarter, though, has been a little bit more sloppy.
Yeah, more sloppy, more penalties, more mistakes. So, but this is a huge play upcoming for the Eagles, because they really need a momentum booster here for themselves. They have had so many opportunities in this third quarter to tack on points, and if they don't take advantage here, this game could slip away, because they have had, this is the second time that they've had a big chance to score points. And if they come away empty again, that's going to give Mira Costa a huge psychological boost, I would think. So 4th and about, I'm going to say 7. It's a long 6. Romero is out of the shotgun. The snap is good. The throw is incomplete. intended for Gonzalez, but a defender was right there. A defender had sussed it out. I didn't quite see the number on the defender, but that was almost a jump ball. And so El Segundo turns it over on downs, and it wasn't the last play. They only used 4 seconds. It was one of those let's get the ball out quick plays. But Mira Costa's diagnosed it correctly. And so Mira Costa will take over on its 15-yard line.
And also not a bad call, too. Of course, you don't get the points there, but Mira Costa starts this far back. Now they have to drive pretty much the length of the field to score.
And there's McMahon, the running back, picks up some yards, and that is the last play of the third quarter. So 14-6 the score. El Segundo in the lead. Now let's head down to field level where Brittany Rodriguez has a report for us.
Hey guys, just giving you an update here on the sidelines. Delgado and Rosas are both out with a right ankle sprain. I also found out on that personal foul call, it was an El Segundo player that came after the defender that hit Freeman. So that was what that call is about. Back to you.
So as we surmised, something happened late. Not sure exactly what, whether it was a verbal thing or a physical thing, but at any rate, that was really just a killer because it just killed that drive. El Segundo would have scored probably a touchdown there. They had the ball down at the 3-yard line.
And not just that, Diego, that delay a game also in his 4th and about 1,
yeah,
where they could have had at least a shot for a field goal and try to add 3 more points there. Got that delay game, pushed them way back,
yep,
and then didn't complete the 4th down attempt. So a sloppy third quarter. We start the 4th, still El Segundo on the lead. Let's see if both teams can kind of calm down, get their head back in the game, and cut down these mental mistakes.
And also, as we surmised, the recurrence of Rosa's ankle problem. So, Mira Costa with the ball. They trail at 14-6. They are at their 24-yard line. For Bray under center. He's got Trejo in motion. The give is to McMahon. No gain. A loss of a couple as the El Segundo defense was all over that play. It looked like 17. Roan, he might be hurting. He was like kind of holding his hand as if something had happened to him, or his arm. He looks like he's a little bit, he's going to stay in there.
He's been getting banged up left and right, but he's doing a great job still.
That was a 3rd and short. I take it back. It wasn't first down. I lost track of my downs. Mira Costa picks up a first down now as they just bulldoze the pile all the way up to the 29-yard line. They picked up 5 yards there. So 1st and 10 from about the 29 for Mira Costa. Clock is running, but there's still plenty of time. We've just started the 4th quarter. El Segundo needs a big play defensively here, or a series of big plays to stop Mira Costa. So we have about 11 minutes left in the game. Mira Costa's going to put it up. There's the throw, and it's complete this time, and the receiver gets loose. And McAtee knocks him down, but that's a big pickup. Cody Kallenbach was the receiver, and a huge pickup for Mira Costa. They get it all the way. Let's see, they picked up about 30 yards on that play.
And when Kallenbach left the game earlier, perhaps with a cramp, it looked like, I said he was one of their big receivers. He's the receiver for the Mustangs. Came up with a huge play right there, continuing this drive.
And I just wonder if all these missed opportunities on offense for El Segundo aren't going to come back to haunt them. And, you know, they may have deflated a little bit, this Eagle team. There they do a great job on defense as they stop McMahon cold.
Where they're reading the runs very, very well. This El Segundo defense has stopped McMahon in this 3rd and 4th quarter so far after he ran pretty much wild in the 1st and 2nd.
So a gain of 1, 2nd and 9 for Mira Costa. And Coach Shevlin mentioned that he felt that this would be a good test for this team, and it's turning out to be. There's the give, this time to number 2, I believe, Hill, Vashon Hill. He picks up maybe 3 and up out to about the 37 of the Eagles. So this is a big third down play, 3rd and about 6.
A huge third down for this Eagles defense. Let's see if they can come up crucial with one more big play right now.
And you've got to wonder if this is 4-down territory for Mira Costa. It probably is. But at any rate, one play at a time. Let's see what happens here. 3rd and 6. They've got I formation behind Vibre. They got a man in motion. Is Trejo. He's going to throw it. He's under pressure. He throws it too quickly. It's intercepted. It's intercepted. No, they're saying it's incomplete. They're saying Freeman did not catch it.
They're saying hit the ground first before.
I thought it was intercepted, and I got a little too excited.
It looked like it. It did look like it from up here, but it hit the ground before Freeman got his hands on it. But nonetheless, 4th down now for the Mustangs.
Yep, and I think they're going to go for it. I mean, this is 4-down territory for them. Even though there's still a lot of time, 9.5 minutes left in the game, I think they're going to go for it. Oh, no. They're bringing in their punting squad. Interesting. Okay.
And their big guy,
Yeah.
Tavai, to punt.
Yeah, okay. McAtee back deep. I'll be surprised if Tavai doesn't punt it. Oh, a little high, but he brings it down. Oh, they're going to run it. And he did not make it. He did not make it. A fake punt. It was a fake punt. And the defense, led by number 55, Gunnar Rogers. There was another tackler in there too, but they did a great job of stopping the big guy, Jonah Tavai, and he only picked up about 3 yards. They needed about 7.
Yeah, sneak by Tavai did not go anywhere. Great job by Rogers and the other guy, Sean Lyon, on that tackle. And it's a turnover on downs, and El Segundo has the ball now. And perhaps with 9:22, if they can eat up some clock and put up a scoring drive, could be the ball game.
Yeah, they got to start executing on offense. They just haven't looked as crisp on offense in this game. Now they're going to try and run it, and there they go up the middle for big yardage. That's a 1st down. Number 4 on that one, Montani, picked up 11, I believe. 1st down all the way to the El Segundo 47-yard line. They give them 10. That's a big run. One of the longer runs that they've been able to pull off tonight.
Big run to that left side where Gunnar Rogers is, the all-league player from last year and one of the captains for the Eagles this season.
So 1st and 10, under center is Romero. He does the play action, hears it out of the middle, he's got his man, and it's caught. Great catch by Freeman, who was popped right after he made the catch, but that's a big gain all the way. Let's see where they're going to spot it, at the 33 of Mira Costa. That is a 20-yard pickup for the Eagles. A huge play. And now the Eagles are rolling a little bit on offense. They just have to keep it going a little bit longer in order to put up some points and maybe get a stranglehold on this game. And there's a bad snap, and this is the type of mistake that has been haunting the Eagles tonight.
Yeah, that center quarterback connection has not worked out. Been a little bit of...
Luckily, Romero was alert enough to pick it up, and I think he actually may have even picked up a yard or 2.
Yeah, a few positive yards there on that run, looked like by Romero. Very short.
So maybe 1 yard, but at least they don't lose the ball. And now there's a timeout. I'm not sure who called it. I don't know if El Segundo called it or... But El Segundo now, once again, with the ball in Mira Costa territory. Nobody's been able to score in this second half thus far, and both teams, I mean, El Segundo has had better chances to score.
El Segundo's had chances given to them by Mira Costa. They just haven't capitalized, or they've given them back to Mira Costa by committing penalties of their own.
So 2nd and long. Romero looks like he's going to be staying under center. The give is to McAtee, and he dives for about 3. all the way to the 30, maybe the 29 of Mira Costa. That's where they spot it, at the 29 of Mira Costa. 8 minutes left in this one. El Segundo leading it 14-6. They got a big third down play here. Now they're going to go back to the shotgun. Romero. He's got H-back. Oh, and El Segundo moved.
Movement there.
Yeah, I think it was El Segundo.
Looked like number 77. He put his hands right in his face as soon as he heard the whistle.
Blanco. And, well, this is what's been killing them. Just
penalties again.
Just mistakes. A lot of mistakes. So now it turns into 3rd and 11 instead of 3rd and 6.
As a lineman, even if you do move, you don't want to admit to the referees that it was you. He put his hands right in his face as soon as he heard the whistle.
So the ball pushed back to the Mira Costa 34. And now the officials want to talk about something or other. What? I cannot imagine. Now they're signaling up to the booth here as if they want some time on the clock. They want to put some time put back, or...
Yeah, it was at 7:39. They wanted at 7:45, and they get it.
They get it. Okay, so, all right. So now, 3rd and long for the Eagles. Under center, Romero has some time. He airs it out. He's got his man, and it's complete. And it's going to be all the way down to the 1-yard line. Devin Bonnie, all the way to the 1-yard line. And great poise by Romero to spot him open and to air it out just perfectly.
Bonnie with 2 touchdowns on the season, almost had his 3rd, barely inches away from scoring his 3rd touchdown of the year. But great job by Romero and Bonnie on the connection.
So now El Segundo just has to punch it in without making any errors. They got it down to the 1, and Mira Costa's got to be feeling a little beleaguered here. So let's see if they just punch it in. They got a full stack backfield. There's the give to McAtee. I don't think he got in. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Touchdown signaled. McAtee with the dive into the end zone. And El Segundo now up by 20-6. 1-yard plunge by Danny McAtee. That is, I want to say, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season.
3rd on the season, 2nd tonight. And that's a good birthday gift for Danny McAtee. 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had that long running, kickoff return. So Villalobos on for the PAT. This is important. And they muffed the snap, and the PAT is up and no good. The snap was muffed, and they messed up the PAT, and that's, well, that could hurt. Because now it's, instead of being a 15-point game, it's a 14-point game, and that could make a difference. But there's not that much. I mean, it's 7 minutes left, essentially, and Mira Costa's got to get 2 scores. It's not impossible.
It's not impossible at all. And
no.
The way this game is going,
yeah,
we could see something crazy to finish it off. But
oh, and there's a looks like a personal foul on Mira Costa, or
yeah, there's laundry on the field there.
Yeah. So now El Segundo gets a break. They get to do this over again, I believe. That's a huge break.
Huge break.
So mistakes on both sides. That's a big mistake on the Mira Costa side, as it's given El Segundo another try at this PAT. So let's see. Now, why is El Segundo going to the sideline? It's a PAT. Maybe they want to talk about going for 2. I don't know.
Yeah, they called the timeout there. Did Coach Shevlin?
Yeah. Well, if they go for 2 and they get it, that's 16 points. That's sort of like they need 2 scores and two-point conversion. That's a tall order. But,
with 7 minutes left, yes.
Yeah, so, it's a tricky call, because if you don't get the 1 point, then it's 14 points. Well, it's an interesting call. It's an interesting call. That's probably what they're talking about, because I can't imagine what else they would be talking about. And if there's the sideline, I mean the stands for El Segundo. A lot of spirit tonight at this game against Mira Costa.
Rivalry game here in the South Bay, a great matchup.
So here we go. And let's see. No, they're just going to go for the PAT for the 1 point. Villalobos puts down his kicking tee on the 19-yard line, the 10, so it's a 20-yarder. They've had a little trouble tonight with these PATs, a little bit. Good snap. Kick is up, and it is good. That's a big point right there. So El Segundo now extends the lead to 21-6. And the throw there, which was the key to the score, showed me something from Romero, because he was on the run again a little bit, but then he kind of slowed it all down. And he said, okay, no, I'm not going to run for it. And he saw his man, and he got it to him accurately. He was open, and he just lofted it perfectly. Hit him right in stride. So I like that. He showed me something there. And despite all the mistakes and all the sort of inability to score on those previous two opportunities there, the El Segundo Eagles showed some poise and pulled off the big play. You know, you talk about making big plays, they made one there. And now they are firmly in control of this game.
Well, this game is far from over with 7:05 left to play, Diego, but ironically, Mira Costa lost last week to La Serna 21-6, the same score as they're down right now.
So Villalobos getting set for the kickoff. Kicks it towards a sideline. It's fumbled around there by Trejo, but he picks it up and he breaks loose, and he is still on his feet across the 25, finally brought down at about the 27 of El Segundo. Roan was one of the tacklers there. There was another one as well. They're going to give it to him at the 28, it looks like. So that's where Mira Costa will take over at its 28-yard line. Reed Vibre out of the shotgun. He's going to be putting, flags now. See, and this is where Mira Costa might be a little uncomfortable. They're going to have to put it up maybe more than they want.
Like we were talking about earlier in the second quarter, if they're trailing this much, they might have to air it, but which Reed hasn't looked too good, especially in this ball game.
Well, he's had a couple of throws lately that he had that one nice throw to Kallenbach. Now, what's the call? Oh, no call. Whoops. Whoopsie.
Never mind. I'm taking it back.
Okay. All right. So first and, so now first and 10, out of the shotgun. Plenty of time, but there's the overthrow. That's what he's shown. He's shown a propensity to overthrow. And his receiver there is not a tall receiver, 5'9", 160 on Trejo. So, anyway, second and 10.
And Vibre has a nice football. When it comes out of his hands, a beautiful spiral, just overthrown or underthrown every time, pretty much.
Well, he's had a couple that
He's
are
got
okay.
a couple of nice throws.
But a lot of overthrows. Now he's rolling out. Now he's got plenty of time. He's got a receiver that's wearing a blue shirt, and it's Danny McAtee. And McAtee's bringing it back. And this is going to be the ball game, ladies and gentlemen.
The birthday boy with a huge interception, and perhaps the last nail on the coffin to put away the Mustangs in this must-win rivalry game.
So McAtee, his second interception of the season, and that was just an awful throw. I mean, I don't know. But we did talk about it, that's not the best part of their game, the Mustangs, if they're forced to throw on every down. That's not what they showed us tonight in terms of what they want to do. So when they were pushed out of their comfort range, if you will, their comfort zone, then they made the big mistake there. And maybe it was sort of a miscommunication with a receiver or what, I'm not sure. But there was nobody in a white shirt anywhere near there. It was just McAtee. So now El Segundo will just run the ball, I would imagine. And there you go. They're looking to chew up some clock as we have about 6.5 minutes left in this one. Was that McAtee or was that Montani?
That was McEntee on the
run. That was
run.
McAtee. Okay, pickup of just a yard or two. Ball down to the Mira Costa. He ran it all the way to the Mira Costa 28. Now it's to the 27. So McAtee doing it all again. Doing it on defense, doing it on special teams, and
offense.
Yeah, he's just dangerous all around. There he gets another. Now we got a flag as he picks up about 6 yards on this scamper. But we do have a flag that's thrown. Usually in an area, well, I don't want to say. It might be, well, let's see. It is. It's holding against the Eagles. So that's going to bring that one back and put the Eagles kind of in a throwing situation, I guess, unless they just want to be super conservative, which typically isn't their game. They.
Oh, 6 minutes, 5:59
Yeah, there's
here
still
to be
enough
exact.
time that they want to kind of. So second and long, second and about 18, let's call it. The ball at the 31 of Mira Costa. Excuse me, at the 36 of Mira Costa. And out of the shotgun will be Matt Romero. He's rolling out. He doesn't have time. He's going to just have to run. He shakes off a tackler, and he picks up pretty good yards.
I just noticed right there, Diego, Romero, when he runs, when he decided, hey, I'm going to run with this football, he tucked. He knew how to tuck the football away because you don't want a defender to come from behind and knock the ball away. So smart for a young quarterback.
So he gets it to the 28 or 27. He picked up about 8 or 9 yards on that run. And the clock's ticking away on Mira Costa's hopes. 5.5 minutes left in this one. This is a third and about 9. Out of the shotgun, good snap. Romero rolling again. He needs to get rid of it. He does. I think it's a little low, and so it's incomplete. It was intended for Gonzalez, but it was underthrown, and that'll bring up a 4th down. And this is an interesting call for Steve Shevlin. What do you do here? I mean, you could do that little pooch punt play, but it's backfired earlier, so I wouldn't mess with that. They may go for it.
I wouldn't try anything tricky. I mean, the only thing, perhaps, if you're going to go for it, go for a run, try to get some positive yards, push Mira Costa back from where they're going to get the ball to start off on offense. But definitely wouldn't try anything tricky here. You don't want to give up anything.
Yeah, you don't want to give up a big
anything.
play.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're going to go, though. But it might be one of those pooch punt plays. I don't know. Well, there's a penalty against El Segundo, a delay of game. And maybe if they're doing the pooch punt, they don't mind.
Given some extra room there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if that's the strategy there or they just took too much time. But anyway, that's about the third of those that we've had, delay of games on El Segundo tonight. So now the ball is all the way to the, looks like the 32 of Mira Costa. In the shotgun will be Romero. I think he's going to punt this. I think they're going to do that again. It's risky. It hasn't worked a couple of times this year. But he's back to pass. No, he's passing.
He's going to pass. Wow.
Well, he better get rid of it.
Pressure. He's going to run it now himself.
Well, he's not going to pick up a 1st down. So I don't know.
Trying to waste a few more seconds off the clock. Didn't really take anything. It's 5:04 now left in the ball game.
Yeah. Well,
I was going to say, Diego, it's got to benefit El Segundo also to have your quarterback also the punter, because you line him up there, the defense doesn't know, hey, are you going for it, or are you going to go fake punt, or what are you going to do, or are you actually just going to punt it? So
sure. So now Mira Costa gets the ball, but they're at their 29. There's Coach Shevlin exhorting his troops. So they've got a fairly long way to go, do the Mustangs. And the Bray will have to throw the ball. I mean, did they switch quarterbacks? I think they did. It's interesting. They did. They have a new quarterback in the game, and he's not doing very well. Oh, my goodness. He threw it up for grabs. It's Nick Carpino, the new quarterback, a 5'10", 150-pound junior, the backup, and he was in trouble.
yeah, Nick Carpino meet Alex Ron, the junior, 6'2", 185. He introduced himself.
Well, I guess they treated it as a fumble and not a not a forward pass attempt. That was a weird play because, I mean, it looked like he just threw it, just like, get the ball out of my hands.
Yeah, I don't want it.
But anyway, it's second and about 21 after that one. And Carpino airing it out. He's got a man, but there's not going to be that much yardage out of that play. It's complete, but maybe only for about 8 yards to Jake Salazar. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and long.
And Salazar stays in bounds. The clock keeps going, so definitely should have stepped out of bounds to try to stop the clock here a little bit if they're going to have any chance at this.
So 3rd and about 16. The ball at the 23 of Mira Costa. Carpino looks like he's going to be under center. Play action, airing it out downfield to nobody in particular. I think he was looking for Cody Kallenbach, but that was not close as the defense had that one diagnosed. Hunter Lynch was all over Kallenbach on that play, so now it's 4th down, and Mira Costa's hopes in this one are rapidly expiring here as they need to pull off a miracle play here. 4th and 16 just to keep the ball and keep their hopes alive. They trail by 2 scores, 21-16.
A big 4th down conversion coming up for the Mustangs.
So Carpino will be out of the shotgun for this one. He's got 3 receivers and a single setback right next to him. The snap is good. Carpino's rolling. He's got a man, but he overthrows him badly. And closer to that ball was McAtee than the intended receiver, Trejo. So that'll do it as the Eagles will assume possession of this ball on downs, and they will just run the ball. And there's Coach Shevlin happy as he knows his Eagles will now improve to 3-0 on this young season.
And a standing ovation by this crowd for the El Segundo defense after they came back to the sidelines, applauding them. Like you said, Diego, pretty much with 3:25 left in this ball game, El Segundo up 21-6. They have this one wrapped up.
Yeah, they're just going to run the ball. And the give is to McAtee. McAtee slips a couple of tacklers. He gets outside, and he's all the way inside the 20 of Mira Costa to about the 18. So he's not taking it easy. He picks up about 5 or 6 yards. I don't know if he went out of bounds, though. Anyway, the clock is running, and 3 minutes left in this one. 2nd and about 6. The ball at the 24. No, excuse me. What am I saying? At the 19 of Mira Costa. Ball at the 19 of Mira Costa. Romero has a stacked backfield behind him, so the run is in order. This time the Mira Costa defense stands up and pushes Romero back, led by number 41, that's Tavai. And there are a couple others in there tackling as well. And now a timeout on the field by Mira Costa. They want to stop this clock. 2:32 left in this one. El Segundo in control, 21-6. It was kind of an odd second half. It was, I would say, largely dominated by the Eagles. They had the better chances to score, and ultimately they did score, whereas Mira Costa has not scored at all in the second half. They've been shut out.
Yeah, it was who was going to step up. Both teams were making mistakes. Both teams were making crucial mistakes. Who was going to step up finally? And El Segundo did. Big interception, and then finally that last touchdown.
Yeah, the nice throw. The beautiful throw to
Bonnie.
To Bonnie that got the ball down to the 1 yard line was a crucial play in that drive. But he had a couple of nice scrambles too, if I remember right. And Romero's kind of, that dimension of his ability to run has been a big thing in this game because the other team didn't show it. Their quarterback didn't have that dimension.
So far this season has helped him and this team out a lot.
Yeah. So now they're going to, well, there he goes again. Matt Romero.
Right on
And
cue.
Picked up about, well, not a lot, but picked up about 4 yards, and he stays in bounds, and he's forcing Mira Costa to burn its timeouts. So it's going to bring up a fourth down and about, I don't know, 5, 6, but Mira Costa has burned its timeouts, I believe. They don't have, I don't know if they have any left. Maybe one left, I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping strict track of that.
Yeah, and down 21-6 with 2:23 remaining. Not a whole lot of time to do a whole lot.
No.
From the Mustangs.
Well, the thing is that they haven't showed the ability to throw the ball that well. So that's the problem.
Yeah, they don't have that quick go-to passer or receiver that they can, count on to get that big play for them. McMahon ran well in the first and second quarter, but even him, he's been kept down by this El Segundo defense. Hasn't done a whole lot in the third or fourth quarter.
So fourth down. Ball at the 18, let's call it, of Mira Costa. Villalobos is in there. I wonder if they're going to try a field goal. No, he's going out to a wide receiver spot. And Romero's out of the shotgun. And somebody moved, I think, but there's no flags. There's the throw. And he's got his receiver, but it's Melton. I don't know that he picked up enough, though. Maybe he did. Well, he might have. Yes, he did. First down. First down. So that's a big throw.
Move the chains.
Yep.
Big throw by Romero late in this ball game.
And a big catch by Scott Melton, who's shown us quite a nice ability to make some plays, the sophomore. And so now El Segundo, with just 2:17 left in this game, will just run the ball, I would imagine. There's McAtee. He gets hammered, but it doesn't matter because it just keeps the clock running. And with the 21-6 lead, El Segundo really doesn't need points. They just need the clock to run out.
They just need the clock to say 0-0-0 and go home with a victory.
So under 2 minutes left now. It'll be interesting to see whether they just keep it on the ground. I suppose they probably will. So staying in the shotgun, H-backs next to Romero, Montani and McAtee. McAtee gets the ball. He slices it up the middle, and McAtee picks up a few yards, 4 maybe. And
add to the stat sheet.
Yeah, add it to the stat sheet. And the ball is now at the, let's say, 7-yard line of Mira Costa, more or less. It's either at the 7 or at the 8. And it's a third down and about 6 yards. They can pick up a first down. McAtee, he will be brought down just shy of a touchdown, but he may have picked up the first down. It's going to be close. Let's see what they're saying. They're saying fourth down, I think. Fourth down and about a half yard. El Segundo, in a way, kind of doesn't even need to run this play. They can just kneel, turn the ball over in downs, and there's not much Mira Costa is going to be able to do.
Yeah, 30 seconds here.
Yeah.
It's pretty much this one's in the books. El Segundo about to go to 3-0, and Mira Costa to 0-3 on the other side.
I think they're just going to kneel probably. Yep.
There was a fumble there on the kneel. I think it was supposed to be a kneel, but the fumble.
Well, I don't know what it was supposed to be, but it doesn't matter. They're going to turn the ball over on downs, but the ball game is over. I mean, other than just the formality of running one more play, El Segundo will be a winner, as you mentioned, and go to 3-0. And a nice victory here at home over a traditional rival, Mira Costa, as El Segundo did enough on special teams, on defense. The kickoff return by McAtee. They did enough. They did enough to win this game. And despite a good running game from Mira Costa, El Segundo had enough. And Mira Costa will throw the ball, and it's incomplete, and there will be maybe another play after this. But that's marked Mira Costa's passing game for the most part right there. Incompletions. That one looked catchable. Many weren't catchable. They were overthrown. But that was, an aspect of tonight's game that clearly favored El Segundo.
Yeah, we should say also, some of those incompletions from the Mira Costa side, the receivers have dropped a lot of those balls as well, too.
There were a couple of drops for sure. 2 or 3 clear drops.
Crucial ones, too, yeah.
Here's a rollout. There's a throw. And there's another interception.
Almost.
Freeman and McAtee were fighting for that interception.
I want it.
And ultimately, nobody came down with it. But with just 6 seconds left, it really doesn't matter. But it, like you said, adding to the stat sheet, that's what that would have been.
Exactly.
But
makes you look good on Max Preps.
They'll be laughing about it after the game a little bit, I'm sure. They're probably laughing about it right now. So 6 seconds left. This might be the last play of this game. Probably will be. Unless it's an incompletion, which it is. And so maybe there will be one more play.
Almost another interception by Montani this time.
Yeah. So 4th down. And now Mira Costa, I guess, can punt, I suppose, or kneel, whatever they want.
Just 2 seconds,
or run a play. But if they run a play, they run the possibility of El Segundo intercepting the ball and maybe running it in. Although El Segundo would do well just to go down and just not run up the score. But sometimes you can't help yourself. So they're still out of the shotgun with their backup QB. He's under pressure. He's in trouble. He throws it. He completes one. So there you go.
That's the ball game.
One last play that actually works, and they got it out to their tight end. But that's it. El Segundo, a big winner in this one, 21-6. The Eagles run their record to 3-0 in this young season in a game that was more of a challenge for them than the other 2 games against Lusinger and Oak Park. But ultimately they come away victorious, and they were just a little bit, Mira Costa was a little too one-dimensional offensively, and El Segundo ultimately had a little bit too many weapons, which eventually won out, even though they made some mistakes in that third quarter that they could have scored earlier in that third quarter. The Eagles could have, but ultimately they did score and put the game out of reach. So pretty good effort by the Eagles as they beat Mira Costa. And a few things to work on maybe, but McAtee again was instrumental in the game. Bonnie, the tight end, had a nice catch, Devin Bonnie. The quarterback, Romero, played well. There were some muff snaps between him and the center, something to work on.
It was a good game, a good test for this El Segundo Eagles team here, a good victory over Mira Costa.
And a lot of ebullience by the El Segundo.
The student section.
The student section going wild.
Rushing the field. You haven't seen these in high school. It's usually after a college game.
Are they going to tear down the goalposts?
Maybe. We might see one of those here.
No.
not in high school.
But anyway, a happy El Segundo student body, let's say, and the team as well.
A lot of these kids grew up on this football team, grew up with the Mira Costa players as well. Being so close, Manhattan and El Segundo, a lot of these kids knew each other, have been playing football sometimes at the lower level also together. So this is a big game, big rivalry game, big bragging rights game for these 2 schools and these 2 teams. And El Segundo goes to Torrance on the road, and then at South Torrance for their next 2 games. Mira Costa plays at home finally against West, then South Hill, because Mira Costa has been on the road, Diego, for the first 3 games, which was a little unusual, but
a little strange.
That's how their schedule worked out this year.
So the final again, 21-6 for El Segundo over Mira Costa. Now let's head down to the field to our sideline reporter, Brittany Rodriguez, who has head coach Steve Shevlin.
All right, Coach, I know you wanted this game to be kind of like a level, to see where you guys were. How proud are you of this team and your boys tonight?
Your words can't describe it. It's one of those things where you come out and you play and you're hoping to play well, and then you start to play well, and then you have an opportunity to win. It just validates all the work those kids put in and week out in the summer. And that program, with Costa is just so tradition rich, and it's such a historical program for us to play against. And we want to play well. We don't want to do anything that's going to embarrass us. I thought defense was unbelievably, stellar tonight, as always. But tonight was a special effort. I think everyone wanted to have a piece of this. Everyone wanted to share in it. And I thought Danny McEntee made some great offensive plays. Matt Romero played really well. Special teams played well. So overall, I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't.
Small mental mistakes, but for the most part, you guys played incredible. So what are you going to work on in practice this week?
Well, we got to clean up a little bit on the kickoff team and a little bit on PAT. We're getting better, but we had that field goal we missed down there at the end, and that's just the confidence. We just got to have more confidence in that. But other than that, we'll look at the film and see. I thought they did a really nice job trying to move their best defense player, Jonah Tavai, around, and we tried to come back and counter that. And we'll look at film and see where we can get better. But really, just to play off the effort, like an attitude, hey, we're not going to back down, was something really special to watch tonight.
What are you expecting with Torrance next week? What are you preparing for?
We'll look at the film. I haven't seen them or looked at them at all yet. So we'll enjoy this tonight. Watch film tomorrow, and then we'll start gaming up on Sunday and get ready for the game.
You guys got Costa 3-0 now. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you, Brady. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Egidio, Diego, back to you.
So big win for the Eagles, 21-6. Good all-around game. They didn't look as dominant as they had in these other games, but they faced a little bit tougher team, I think. So overall, they've got to be happy with coming away with the win in a game that tested their mettle a little bit because it was a tighter game. And they go to 3-0. And the league schedule, I don't think, starts until Culver City, and that's the next game that we will have. I don't know if that's a game that we're doing as a full van shoot.
That will be a quick hits game.
Okay, a quick hits game.
Against Culver City on October the 6th.
So that'll be a big one, a big game. And El Segundo has, a couple of games against, Torrance schools upcoming. Those are traditional type of foes as well, and not easy games all the time either. Let's head down to field level where Brittany Rodriguez has an interview with one of tonight's heroes.
All right, I know you just had a birthday. The first two games, you had 2 touchdowns. Is it the birthday luck that you got 3 tonight? What's going on?
Yeah, it definitely was a birthday luck. That's all I got to say. It was the birthday luck.
How is it playing out there with those guys? This is a rivalry game. It was a lot of emotions on the line. Not a league game, though, so tell me what was going through your guys' head.
We've been playing with these kids since PCC, so we kind of know them all off and on the field. So it was just bragging rights, basically. We had to come out and show us what we got. They had showed us what we got. So, man, it was just pretty good.
Looking forward to league. What are you looking forward to most?
Ooh, Lawndale game. That's always that's going to be another big milestone that we have to overcome. And just getting stronger every practice, just keep going, 100% every play.
Great game tonight. Congratulations on your win, and happy birthday.
Of course, thank you.
Thanks, Brittany. Well, once again, the final, 21-6, El Segundo over Mira Costa. For Stevie Oakwat, Darnell Jenkins, our entire production crew, I'm Diego Sanchez alongside Egidio DeLieu from Hazeltine Field. Good night.
All right, Gundo fans, huge win against Mira Costa here tonight, 21-6. I'm alongside Egidio DeLieu. Egidio, what did you think of that game?
This was a huge statement win for this young Eagles squad. Of course, they advanced to 3-0, and they beat a rival team in Mira Costa for the second consecutive year. Huge win for these guys. Like Danny McEntee said, a lot of these guys grew up playing football together in the little leagues and Pee Wee, so this is a big win. These guys are friends outside of the field, and it's a big bragging rights statement win for the Eagles. And of course, they keep their record perfect. They're 3-0, and a great job by everybody involved.
Speaking of McEntee, I talked to him post-game, and he said, was it your birthday luck? Like, what's going on? There's no luck with that kid. He is talented.
Yeah. If he was wearing number 4, you think it's Taz Tuwese, because he's just as good as Taz Tuwese was last year. Very elusive, very quick, can read holes when they're open, can make adjustments if there's defenders coming at him. A great running back, but not just a running back, also does it on special teams, does it on defense, led the team last year in tackles, had an interception today, has a second interception, now leads the team in interceptions. A great job, a good birthday gift for him from this team. Great job to Danny McEntee and the Eagles. An all-around solid player for El Segundo.
Speaking of interceptions, that almost last play of the game, McEntee got caught up with Freeman. Freeman had a little bit of some injury at the end of the field with some back issues. He had a face mask. What happened with that play? What did you guys see up there?
Well, we clearly saw the face mask. He got pulled down. That should have been a penalty on Mira Costa. But it looked like from our angle that it was a head-to-head collision, or he was aiming for Freeman's head and his helmet. That automatically is a personal foul. Mira Costa should have got deducted, but apparently something was said on the field that gave El Segundo the personal foul and moved the Eagles back, which Mira Costa, not only did they stop him from scoring, they came out on the winning end of that one since El Segundo got moved back. In the end, though, it all worked out. El Segundo ended up winning, but still not a crowd favorite play, not a El Segundo favorite play from the players' side, and not from our point of view up there, not a favorite play from us as well. So controversial, to say the least.
Definitely. So at practice, we were talking to Coach, and he really wanted to clean up special teams. They did an amazing job here tonight. What did you guys think of that?
Yeah, better. Offense was really, really good. Defense was really, really good, especially the defensive backs here tonight. Special teams, better from the first 2 weeks. Still need to work on those coverages. I think they have a lot of young guys with those lineman injuries up front, blocking for the field goal or punts or special teams, anything with that matter. So those guys need to get in the mindset. Coach said it, they just have to be more confident. It's only the third game, only the third week here of football, so it's going to get better obviously as the season progresses, but the only wrinkle in El Segundo's game is the special teams, and small steps towards improvement, but they are improving.
So speaking of injury, Rosas is out. It was Blanco came in for Delgado. Delgado's out, and then even Blanco was kind of limping there on the sidelines. Tell me how this is going to affect this team.
Well, Gunnar Rogers, obviously the staple of this offense and defensive line. They got Jess Caravelli back today after he was out with an injury last week in that Oak Park game. Those two guys are the two staples of that offensive line, two captains for the Eagles. The other guys just need to plug them in. Next man up mentality, that's what Coach Shevlin says. Whoever gets called up to play, hey, study that playbook and be sure to be ready to play on Friday night.
So let's give them a little preview of next week's game against Torrance. What do you foresee?
I'll win. Short and simple.
Keep the streak going.
Keep the streak going. Last week was a blowout win, and that was a really good El Segundo team that faced a not so good Torrance team. Mm-hmm. Same story this year. Even though Torrance is a little bit better, they're a little more mature this season. I think El Segundo has way more weapons on offense, defense, and special teams, even though they are struggling on the special team side. But I think El Segundo is more well-rounded. They have more weapons, and they're going to be 4-0 after their game against the Torrance Tartars.
Also, speaking of league, when I was talking to McEntee after the game, he was saying he was most looking forward to the Lawndale game. There was a lot of controversy after the game last year, that is. What's going to happen this year? What do you foresee?
This Ocean League is up for grabs, to be honest with you, especially with El Segundo playing better than everyone expected them to come out and play. Culver City is going to be at the top. It's going to be Culver City, Lawndale, and El Segundo. Those two teams, until they play each other, it's kind of still up in the air. All three of those teams, though, were co-Ocean League champions, last year. They all tied. They all got a piece of that Ocean League title. So all those three teams, even though Hawthorne is undefeated right now, as we shoot this, they were 2-0. We're still yet to see the results from this week's game. But Hawthorne could be a dark horse in this Ocean League. They have a new coaching staff over there. They have a really good running back that's expected to rush for 2,000 yards. Watch out for the Cougars, but I still think it's a three-headed race between Lawndale, Culver City, and El Segundo.
So El Segundo coming into this game was ranked 7th. What's your prediction, Fred, by the end of the season?
I think they have a legitimate shot at winning the Ocean League outright, defeating Lawndale, defeating Culver City, and taking care of Hawthorne and Santa Monica. I think they have a really good shot of winning or splitting, tying for the Ocean League championship, and then making a big run in the playoffs. But it's such a young team still, only 3 weeks under their belt. Matthew Romero, the young quarterback, I think this team is going to go as far as he takes them. So it's going to be interesting to see, but a lot of good football left for you El Segundo fans out there in the season.
Great El Segundo win here tonight for El Segundo TV. I'm Brittany Rodriguez alongside Egidio De Liu.